The next paper is analysis of a transistor count optimized charge pump for a telecommunication application. I guess presenter will be Payali Das from IIT Delhi, India, and the second author is Alak Majumder from NIT Arunachal Pradesh from India. So please, if we have the presentation, we can
Yes,
continue.
sir. So, myself, Payali Das. I am a PhD research scholar from Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi, currently working in the domain of IoT and embedded system. This is a work I have done sometimes before joining to the IoT group. So, this is a transistor count optimized a charge pump for telecommunication application, specifically in the phase block loop applications. So a phase lock loop is a mixed signal electronic circuit that generates a high frequency output clock. Charge pump based PLL, that is a phase lock loop, are widely used as clock generators, microprocessors, wireless receivers, serial link transceivers, and disk drive electronics. Thus, first switching and first locking PLL is required for system requirements in most cases. An ideal charge pump should be first locking and consume a very low power for better performance. So here is a diagram of a conventional charge pump. A conventional charge pump is shown in the figure. As you can see, transistor M0 and M3 are used as the up and down switches. M2 is fed by external voltage to get the proper output. Sourcing and sinking of current happen when PMOS switch is in high state and the NMOS switch gets the higher value. So here is the plots for the sourcing and sinking of a conventional charge pump circuit. These are the problems associated with the charge pump. So the basic problems are inherent current mismatch due to the PMOS and NMOS switches, like differences in the switches. That is why the current mismatch happens. The reference power and output noise are the other problems. So by considering all the non-ideal effects, we in our present work are trying to remove all these non-idealities from the CP, that is the charge pump, by modifying our architecture, and also as well as we are taking care of the power consumption of the charge pump. So here is the design prototype, like the design of our proposed charge pump. In the present work, this charge pump has been designed incorporating an op-amp, that is the operational amplifier, having moderate gain, that is 52 dB of gain op-amp we are using, which is used to increase the stability, lower current mismatch, and provide high output swing. Transistor M1 and M3 are connected to the up and down signal respectively. A load capacitor of 500 femtofarad is connected at the output. Op-amp output drives the M2, which ensures I1, that is the branch current of this node, and I2, that is the branch current of this node. The op-amp output also controls the reference voltage, that is the Vref. During the charging phase, M1 is active high and M3 is active low. So the positive output of the op-amp is in the high state, making the reference voltage gradually high. At the same time, the negative output of op-amp decreases to zero. This phenomenon makes the charge pump to have almost the full swing. So here is the layout of the proposed charge pump, that is we have done in the 90 nanometer technology. The physical layout consumes only 316.44 micrometer square area. Here are the transients for the up and down signal. As you can see, the swing is coming as a 0 to 1.2 voltage, 1.2 volt. This is a pretty good swing in terms of charge pump design, in terms of charge pump to incorporate in the PLL. Now the results and discussion phase, we are getting 9.15 as the locking range, 9.15 nanosecond as the locking range, which is very much essential for a PLL to work finely. Even after post layout, the range is same. So for pre-layout and post layout also, the locking range is 9.15 nanosecond only. The current mismatch which we are getting is 0.24% only for pre-layout and 0.22% in post layout. Now the current like power analysis for the charge pump. So here are the bar chart for the power and energy analysis for pre-layout and post-layout. You can see from the graph that the power for pre-layout is only 227.5 microwatt in nominal condition, and same for the post-layout also. Now this is the plot for energy. Here also you can see the similarities between pre-layout and post-layout from the bar chart, and it is counting 3.4 picojoule energy in the pre-layout and as well as in the post-layout. These are the power and energy graphs for 5% process queue. And the process queue is if we are changing our parameters of 5%, then also the differences of the power and energy values are kind of same for all the nominal fast, slow, slow fast, and slow orders. The power and energy analysis have been done for different temperatures also, varying the VDD, that is the source voltage. So power and energy of the circuit are also measured for different temperature. It is apparent that both the power and energy decreases with the rise in the temperature as mobility of the carrier slows down. Now we have done the noise analysis. For our device, it is counting only 117.26 dB phase noise for our proposed architecture. The reference score is only minus 1113 dBc per hertz, where we have taken 10 megahertz as the offset, and the output noise is counting as a minus 151 dB, which is pretty good numbers in terms of a PLL design. Now we are showing the process queue with like no skew and 5% process queue for phase noise and phase noise, reference curve, and output noise for pre-layout, post-layout, both the purposes. So from the bar chart, we can show the values of the parameters. This is the phase noise bar chart. Then here is the reference curve bar chart. This is for the reference curve, which is counting minus on 3.88 in the nominal corner. And then this is the output noise. The phase noise, reference score, and output noise we have also calculated for 5% process queue. This ensures that even after changing the parameters as of 5%, the values are kind of same for both the parameters. Now we have compared our design with some of the already existing designs. So our proposed circuit is showing current mismatch is only 0.22%, which is far better than the other designs. The power consumption is counting only 227 microwatts, which is far better than the other designs in terms of the specifications and other aspects. We have also validated our design with some other lower technology nodes, that is the 28 nanometer UMC technology, 14 nanometer UMC, and 65 nanometer UMC. The result is visible. And so here is the conclusion of our work, that we have gained 0.24% current mismatch. The proposed CPU also provides a good response in terms of phase noise and reference score. The current locking time is also only 9.15 nanosecond, which is a pretty good number. And furthermore, the power consumption is also very small for the circuit. In future, we can go and just step out the thing as our layout and post layout things are also done. So we are working on that manner to make our own IC and test it in the real life boards. Thank you so much. Any questions, sir? Welcome.
Thank you for your presentation. Thank you for taking care about timeline. Do we have any questions from the audience? Okay, if we don't have any questions from other colleagues, I would like just to ask you concerning that in Europe we have the Europractice Association, which practically gathers the research and academic institutions which are involved in the IC design and development, and we have very significant support from Europractice regarding the small volume tape out and production of the integrated circuits for the academic and research purposes. So do you have sort of support of similar type in India, or you are applying for some grants from the government, or what's the solution for such type of research which is pretty expensive in India?
Yes, so there is a project going on in India, that is SMDP, System to Chip Design. So from that project, we are getting the funding. So we are contacting with some vendors who will be helping us for the tap out thing, and we will be contacting them for this purpose. We will be also very happy to like reach out to you for in need of any help. So I'll be looking forward for this thing also. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Do we have eventually some other questions? Okay, thank you for really good research paper and really nice presentation.